I thank you, Ahmed, and may I convey on my behalf and behalf of all of us condolences to you all in your this time of grieving. I'd like just to offer three very simple reflections. The first is, a great leader is seen in the lives of those who've been inspired by them as a leader and as a teacher. And I can say unequivocally that the character and the competency of the people that I've known through the AIS over this last 15 years speaks volumes for the inspiration of the Venerable One whom we are remembering and honouring tonight. In turbulent times, and occasionally in less turbulent times, the AIS leadership, inspired by their teacher, have been steadfast, always warm, always welcoming, always collegial and ready to share, full of innovations, new programs, hard to keep up with all the things that get suggested, and always wanting to offer wisdom from their tradition, inspired by their teacher, wisdom for the common good. So that's a first little reflection. And the second one, yes, it's Remembrance Day today. It's good to remember always. The opposite is dismembering, falling apart. That's not a good idea. Remembering, not forgetting. And in my tradition, I imagine in that of many of you, when someone we've loved and respected dies, we really think hard, okay, how do we carry forward the best of this person's inspiration in our daily lives to mark our continuing affection and respect? And others will speak of other things, but the two I'd particularly want to mention, which was outlined by Ahmet at the beginning and there in the video, is that crucial work for social cohesion, which really in essence is real deep loving respect for our diversity, linked to a real desire to work and live in unity with one another. That unity in diversity. And I see that so profoundly in the Venerable, his teaching and his influence on the AIS here in Australia. And I think we all know that that is such an important work for us to be committed to in this period that we're now in. And it's risky work because always it attracts, on the one hand, people who say they have no religion, they can be hostile at that end, and people who have a very narrow and exclusive view of a particular religion also can be oppositional and hostile. And we have to, and we saw it in the video, we have to find that sweet spot where we deal with that opposition and try to make the opposition friends, but persist. It's such an important time for us to persist and not allow narratives that would divide us as a nation, as a people, to take a compelling hold. We've just come through the US election. I think it was my grandmother used to say, if you haven't got anything good to say, don't say anything at all. So I'll leave that as it is. The other one is the schools. You know, when I was bishop in the northern and western suburbs, I had the opportunity to go to some of the schools, and they're fantastic schools. And that contribution to the emerging generation of leaders, that they have the kind of education that's marked by the inspiration of the Venerable, is so important to nation building. If our young people are to be nation builders, which we want them to be, building a strong and beautiful Australia, their education is crucial. Those schools are so important. And the bonds that we can make between our different school systems is a crucial piece of social cohesion work where we should be about. And thirdly and finally, the matter of spiritual practice. The establishment of a discipline of reading sacred text, praying and meditating. So we've got resilience when hard times come. My dear friend here in the front row, he's given me his amazing book written out of his experience of being falsely imprisoned in Turkey. And he makes the point, and it's vivid in the teacher, in the venerable, that we need to be practicing our faith to have resilience when hard times come. And that together, when we share together how we pray and meditate, how we read texts, what we find in the text, is also part of what we can contribute into Australia that has that yearning that we have in our hearts of peacefulness. And the great inspiration of the Venerable is that his spiritual practice always led him to be seeking to be closer to God, understood as seeking the truth, doing only that which is beautiful, and always being kind. So there's much to be grateful for that we can carry forward, and I am feel honoured to be able to say these few things here tonight. Thank you very much.